Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Intuitive Living Podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, and fingers crossed we are back on YouTube. I am trying to record this episode today, so hopefully we make it on the YouTube. If you listen to my last episode, it was a little rough and I couldn't make it happen, so I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. So today's episode, I'm going to expose myself a little bit, just a little bit, but I want to give a life update and just kind of like where I'm at. I think in doing so, I have to be a little honest about something. It's not that deep, but it's basically I have been going through a breakup the past few months. The reason I want to share this, I don't really want to get into the details of it just because, like, honestly, the details don't really matter. And I feel like it's just more private. Something also I've learned is that what really, really matters is more of like the emotions behind a circumstance versus like the details. And it's really funny because I'll have clients come to me all the time, or even I notice comments all the time about people trying to like find someone who dealt with their exact scenario. And the thing is, we all have very similar scenarios and experiences in our lives, especially regarding intimate relationships, but they all can like play out in so many different ways. So a lot of times we will try to find someone who's in our circumstance and ultimately was successful and like figured it out and got on the other side of it. And at the end of the day, at least this is how I feel about life. So you might not resonate with this, and that's completely fine. But the way I like to look at life as a whole is just everything is our own experiences. Like, we can have similar experiences. We can move through different experiences, but the way we decide to perceive an experience ultimately determines the way we choose to act in said experience. So we have like free will in our lives to choose how to move whatever way we want. So you could have an amazing opportunity sitting right in front of you, but you can choose whether to act on the opportunity or not. And I also think there is an abundance of opportunities in your life. And so just because you might have not taken up one opportunity doesn't necessarily mean that you won't have another opportunity in the future. That's kind of a tangent. But the reason I'm getting at this is because ultimately I don't want to get into the details of my relationship because number one, it's involving another person that I can't air. That's just, I'm not going to do that. Also, it really doesn't matter because the emotions are what matter the most. As an example, me and my best friend actually are going through two completely different life experiences, like genuinely completely different experiences right now. But the crazy thing is we call each other on a regular basis and we talk about it because we are experiencing the same emotions behind it. Because the emotions that we all experience in life, we all feel the same way, and we don't always need the exact life experience to relate to one another. Also, just personally, I don't really want to give the situation more energy than I have, to be honest. It's not a effective use of my time. It's not where I want to put my energy anyways. I do want to talk about kind of life update, and I'm hoping that maybe my last few episodes will make a little more sense to everyone. Not that I think I was confusing, but I personally felt like I was being very vague. Like, okay, like I'm going through a big life transition, but I'm not really talking about what the transition is or how it occurred. Like I am, but not really, because this is the first time I'm bringing up the fact that I am moving through a breakup. So here we are, I'm talking about it, and I'm hoping that it just makes more sense and the emotions behind it and the way everything happened, and maybe I can relate a little more. One thing that I always get consistently with my feedback from my clients is that they always feel very seen, validated, and heard through their experience with me because I'm able to like regurgitate the emotions or the feelings. And I pride myself on being vulnerable and like really sharing life experiences, in that I also like to take some time to process an experience on my own before I begin to share the lessons and the realizations, because the last thing I want to do is project onto anyone. So yeah, that's pretty much I'm trying to do, and I know I'm not perfect with this, but I am trying to do my best in that regard. So I really just want this to be kind of like a life update, but then also just like random bits and pieces of information that might also help you if you're going through something similar. So, where do I even start? I think I might just start like the timeline. And again, I'm not going to go into like the details of what happened or anything like that, but just more of like general themes going on in my life that have then brought me to where I'm at now. The biggest thing being is I went into, and I think this is crazy. I went into 2024 a little distraught in that I had spent November and December traveling a lot just for work. I was honestly exhausted. I went away for Thanksgiving, I went away for Christmas. It was just a lot. I was tired, I was exhausted, and I was so looking forward to just getting back into a routine, and it ended up being so uncomfortable because I hadn't been in a routine in such a long time that I like didn't even know what to do with myself. And because of that, I had a little bit of a mental breakdown, as us women do and Pisces do. It's just like part of our creative process. And so 2 weeks in the new year, I just like hit this like, okay, Siobhan, like, what are we doing? And I picked myself up and we started kind of moving into a better direction. In those 2 weeks period, though, I was telling myself, Siobhan, this is going to be the year. Because every year I come up with a word or like a theme for the year. I don't like having like specific goals. They just never really worked for me. I like having concepts. So like the concept of making $50,000 a month sounds great. Am I going to be like, in 6 months, I'm going to make this happen? No, that's a lot of pressure. It doesn't feel good to me. Smart goals, great, but not for me. So I like thinking of like, and the thing is, when I do it that way, because, okay, side tangent, the thing about manifestation is it never comes in the way you think it's going to come, and it's never going to come in the time that you think it's going to come. It could come sooner, it could come later. And so I really don't like to put timelines on myself, because then I start feeling like I'm failing if things aren't happening. It can become discouraging, and then I just give up. So I really like tapping into the feeling of something. And then if you start your day in that energy of whatever that thing is you're manifesting, and you just like let it be, and you act as if it's already like it's going to happen, it's fine, whatever, like there's nothing to stress about because it's going to happen. Then you move through your day making little tiny minute changes every single day, taking you towards like that ultimate thing that you're supposed to be doing with your life. The beginning of January, I was like, okay, Siobhan, you've been playing small. You have been playing small. You want, like, I have so many things that I want to do with my life. Like, I want to definitely be more of an influencer on social media. I would love to be a public speaker one day. I would love to have my own brand. I think it would be cool to like design destination Airbnbs. Like, you can see I have barely started talking, and you can tell I'm really all over the place. When I talk about all the things that I want to do, I realize that I'm only just in the beginning. I do think that I'm headed in the right direction and I'm on the right path, but like I've barely brushed the surface. Like, we are just getting started. I knew that 2023, the word I had for the year was pivotal. When I was going through my year, it was like, okay, everything that's happening this year is going to be the pivotal thing that I need to really step into the person that I ultimately want to become. And so then going into 24 is like, okay, now we're becoming the person. Like, we're ready. We're doing it. I had this, and this is my intuition coming in, because if you tap into your intuition, or if you want to know the biggest difference between intuition and anxiety, or I always look at anxiety and ego kind of being one and the same. Your anxiety screams and your intuition whispers. Your anxiety is like run-on sentences. It's a very aggressive, mean, chaotic voice. Your intuition is a knowing. It is just this firm, silent, small statement that you really gotta listen to. And it's hard because it's so quiet. So sometimes you feel it and you're like, but then your anxiety can be like, So I had this intuitive knowing that, Siobhan, you might lose some people by doing this. And I had honestly, the person that was on the top of my list was unfortunately my boyfriend. I was really scared that if I really started to go into this direction, him and I would potentially be growing in different directions. I don't even know if I thought growing in different directions. I think I just I don't even know in what way I thought I would lose him, but it was just kind of, but that's the thing. That's the thing about your intuition. It doesn't really, you don't really have an explanation behind it. It's just like a knowing. And so I knew that I could lose things, and he was at the top of the things that I could lose, but I didn't really know how or why. And it was also kind of a question mark because in losing him, it wouldn't be because I want to lose him. It would be because ultimately we all have free will, and it was in him choosing whether he wanted to come with me or not. It's so funny because I like set that intention and I had that thought, and then literally a couple weeks later the relationship fell apart. And I hadn't even really done anything like that significant. The biggest thing was just like I was taking myself very, very seriously. And again, like nothing happened. I don't want to speak to him or his experience, or like I really don't have anything like bad to say about him as a person. It's just how everything unfolded. I felt that I had no choice but to kind of like walk away from the situation. And it was a very heartbreaking experience for me because it was the complete opposite of what I wanted. Like, if I could have had everything in my life, it would have been like, okay, Siobhan, you're going to start growing and like taking yourself seriously and really like becoming that person that you want to become. And he's coming with you. And it was just like, damn, I guess he's not coming with me. Biggest thing when it comes to breakups in general, because breakups are never fun and they're never easy. But the one thing I want to say is the quicker you can come to acceptance of the situation, the more ease you will find through the entire process. I don't think it necessarily, I mean, it could speed up the healing, right? Because if you're in denial, and part of being in denial, you could be trying to like make it work with this person when like it's not actually an option, versus if you see the situation for what it is, you look at the facts and you're like, I really don't have any other choice in my reality other than to move this direction, and you honor that and you move that direction, you're less likely to take action going back and forth. Something I have mentioned before in this whole process, like in my previous episodes about going through this transition of ultimately this whole thing is just me becoming the person that I am truly meant to be. Like that's genuinely how I feel, and it's really not deeper than that. Things have been removed, and not just him, like other things as well have been removed from my life, and it feels as if it's like my intuition knows that this needs to happen, but my ego and my anxiety is like, oh my god, I literally hate this so much. Like this makes me so uncomfortable, and the reason it makes me uncomfortable is because I have no idea what's next. Like I literally have no idea, and it scares me. I think part of that acceptance and one of the hardest things about a breakup is everything that you thought this person was or the situation was, and those future hopes that you had with this person, you kind of just have to like throw them out. It's way easier said than done, and I don't mean you're literally going to just throw them out and it'll be fine. It's like, no, this is like, it takes time to process, accepting that it's going to take time to process, accepting that it's going to be a transition. I had even told myself like, I'm not planning to date. I don't even know. Honestly, I bless my husband's heart. I love him already because I don't even know. Like that man is gonna have to really seek me out basically, because I don't even know if I'm ever gonna go on dating apps again, to be honest. It's just like, but that's a whole episode for another time. But I've had this knowing that this transition period needs to happen, and it needs to happen in this way. And I think when free will comes in, because your intuition tells you like exactly what's going on, it's scary to just like trust your body, because that's essentially it. It's like, especially as a woman, it's like, okay, my intuition is telling me this thing, but I don't really have anything else to go off of other than the fact that it's my body says so. And most people are going to be like, what do you mean? Like your body and your intuition says, like, what are you talking about? And it's just like, no, it's fine, don't worry about it. And you're like really trusting yourself and trusting your body. It's hard and it's scary because you kind of feel crazy, and especially if your 3D reality isn't matching anything. And that's kind of how I felt, is like I think I have been moving in the exact way I should be moving. I'm very proud of myself for how I handled everything up to this point and how I'm moving through the situation, how I am choosing myself. There's just like small things. Like, for example, a lot of people who go through breakups will entertain exes, for example, or they'll like entertain new people. And I just know that while that could make me feel better in the short term, that's not what's best for me ultimately, right? Or a really good example for me personally is I usually like become like a workaholic, meaning I exhaust myself, like not even like a normal amount. I will exhaust myself in my work because ultimately I'm trying to avoid the pain of the breakup. Where this whole experience is like, no, Siobhan, like it's important to be balanced. It's important to take care of yourself. It's important to honor like where you're at, and you need to give yourself time and rest. Experiencing the emotions of the breakup and balancing that with not letting myself like ruminate or go on tangents, like mental cycles with it about like the what ifs and the hows and the whys and all that. And it's just like letting myself feel it and letting myself mourn, but not in a way that it's not beneficial for me. Way easier said than done, 100%. Like having to feel an emotion is not a fun experience. But the other thing that's not fun is not experiencing the emotion and then it suddenly like blowing up in your face months later. I think too, like we'll go through bouts of like feeling emotions and you'll be like I've had days or weeks that just like I feel so beaten down because I just like don't know what I'm doing. Like it's just like you get to a point where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I'm listening to my body. I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything that feels best for me. I'm not seeing any like silver lining to it all or like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just like this big, like, where's the reward, right? And something that has been resonating with me a lot is it's not like a quote, but I heard it in a sermon when you're in this waiting period of life, and it's God asking you, how badly do you want it? And that's how I feel. Like, I feel like the universe is just like, how badly do you want it? And I ask myself that a lot, especially recently. I've been like, Siobhan, how badly do you want it? Because if you want it that badly, you're going to keep doing what you need to do. And that's really helped me, like, as I've moved through this whole experience and gained more clarity on my life. I am seeing like the bigger picture here, especially for myself. I have this knowing within me, and I hate it. This actually happened yesterday. If you watch, I'm going to have a vlog come up and I'm going to be talking about it in the vlog. So if you want to know details about that experience, but essentially it was like there have been like things happening in my career that are really cool and really exciting, but I've been not acknowledging them because I'm very butthurt about my love life. Because I just like, and I've been feeling this way for the past year, honestly, like more than a year, but last year, probably around this time, I was just like finally honest with myself about what I wanted, in that like I want a life partner. Like I do. And I want to get married one day. I want to have kids one day. That's what I want. I don't want to do life alone anymore. Like it's cool, but like I just think about all the things that I can do with someone else. Like every successful business, anything or anyone that's ever, even like a professional athlete, it's not just the athlete, it's like the team behind them that made it happen. Even like a film, it's not just the actor or the actress or the director, it is everyone involved. And so you don't create amazing things on your own. And that's just like where I'm at in life. Like that's what I want. And so to have this relationship not only fall apart, but fall apart when I was not expecting it or wanting it to fall apart was really discouraging for me and it's been bringing up fears that I've never had, in that, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I can like really trust anyone again. Like how do I trust that someone has my best interest, because it kind of seems like they don't? And how do I know that I'm not like wasting my time, because I didn't feel like I was wasting my time and it still didn't, like, it just, all of these confusing thoughts, this fear of like, I am on a timeline because I'm a woman. I don't know. It's the older I get, the harder it can be to have children. Am I going to find like the person, or am I going to end up settling for someone who is like non-committal, right? And all of these fears coming up that I really never experienced before. So I was feeling very, very discouraged. And the past 3 months have really, really tested my faith in ways that I have never had it tested before. In that, because I've just kind of embraced it to the best of my abilities and just really taking it day by day and honoring myself and understanding that, like, yeah, some days are going to be better than others. And especially if you're a woman, we already go through a monthly cycle. Once you get used to the fact that there are going to be weeks and days out of the month that you're going to be tired and you're going to be exhausted, it doesn't mean you're failing. It literally just means you need to rest, because we're on a completely different cycle than men. Men are on like a 24-hour cycle. They're doing their own thing. Good for them. I wish I was on the 24-hour cycle. Yesterday, I had this like realization. There are a lot of things happening in my career that I have not been acknowledging because I've just been butthurt about my love life. Like, really butthurt. Like, I'm like, okay, where the fuck is my husband? Like, where are you? Like, sir, you're annoying me. Not really, but like kind of. Not really, but like really. Finally, yesterday, I had this like amazing opportunity. Like, it was to the point where I even was going to like fire one of my clients, not because my client, like, it had nothing to do with my client. It was just kind of like, is this what I want? Like, do I want to take on this work? Like, can I handle it? Like, it was more of like, I don't think I can provide. Like, who am I? I was also experienced imposter syndrome. It was like all these things happening. And then it turns out the client really, really loves my work to the point where they actually want to pay me more. And I like left the meeting and I just felt like I should have been more excited. And I had noticed that this really amazing thing happened and I'm just like not excited for it. But it's not that I don't want it. It's just, you know, when things have happened in your life and you're like, this is exactly what I want, but like the emotion isn't there. And so I sat with that. I literally sat in my car. I vlogged it. So if you're interested in the story, you can listen to my tangent on my vlog. But essentially, I came to the conclusion that I have been so focused on my love life and I haven't just like been putting it down. And not that I'm doing anything with my love life. Like, I haven't been dating. I'm just butthurt that I feel the way that I do. I'm butthurt that I have to go through heartbreak. Heartbreak fucking sucks, okay? Let's just call it what it is, right? Like, it sucks. It really sucks having to grieve someone that you didn't want to lose. That really, really sucks. I've been frustrated that I even have to feel the emotions. There's an interesting thing I've been dealing with as well is like, what did I do to deserve this? And I know I didn't do anything. Like, I could like logically sit here and talk to myself and be like, Siobhan, you literally did nothing. I know I didn't do anything, but it's the anxiety, right? Like, my intuition is like, you literally didn't do anything. Sometimes like things in life just happen. It's also the reality of like, other people have free will too. Other people can choose to operate in a different way that you just don't agree with, and it is what it is. That doesn't mean you did anything to cause it, right? So I've just been like really like frustrated and like really working through that. Again, a lot of fears and anxiety has come about, like, will I find someone? What if I just like keep attracting the same type of person over and over again and I can't actually find that person that I'm meant to be with? What if I like can't have children because it takes too long? Just like all these things. What if I like end up alone? I've never had these fears before until recently. And so I'm more just like frustrated that I have to deal with all these things. But the reality is, basically, I was like, Siobhan, there's a lot of things you have to sift through with it. And that's the chapter that you're in that aspect of your life. But then there's other aspects of your life that you are like thriving in. Like, one aspect, first of all, I'm traveling a lot this summer and I'm so excited. Like, I'm literally going to be gone for like 5 weeks. And I'm just like, all the content I'm going to get, all the places I'm going to experience and explore. And traveling just like lights my soul up. I've been really clear about, okay, this is the perfect example. Honestly, I'm kind of questioning whether I want to stay in San Diego. I really do love San Diego. And I'll start by saying I don't really have anywhere else I want to like live currently. But every time someone asks me about San Diego, I always say, you know, I don't really have a reason to leave, but I don't necessarily have a reason to like stay here anyways. Like, I could see myself going somewhere else. I could see myself doing so many things. I would love to have like a ranch in Montana or something. I would love to like live in Puerto Rico or Costa Rica at some point. I would love to just be traveling. I would love to have kids. Like, I want to I mean, obviously I would love to have kids, but I want to have kids and like low key raise them like all over the world. Like, I want them to just be very like well traveled and cultured and like understand the world and life. And because for me, my parents made it a point to make sure that I traveled when I was younger. I went to Europe in 8th grade and then I went to Thailand, and it completely changed the way I viewed the world. Just Thailand especially. It was just like, I literally like life-changing experience, and it's helped me become very adaptable. It's helped me become very accepting. It's helped me really be able to see and understand people, and just like, yeah, it's just, anyways, I really want that for my family and my life. And I think that's why I don't like, there's not one place in the world that I could see myself settling down. And who knows, maybe I'll find that place. But I almost am wondering if I'm meant to just like live in multiple different places and like my family coming with me. Like, I have children and they like also, and we live in all these different amazing places together. I don't know, but it's kind of sparked this idea of like, I think I want to start traveling again, because before COVID, I used to travel so much. I would travel at least once a month. I was going somewhere. Whether it was a different country, whether it was a different city in the United States. I haven't been doing that over the past few years, but I don't know. I've been kind of getting the travel bug again lately. And the whole idea of like, well, I'm not in a relationship. So like, I have my kitties. Luckily, my roommate loves them, and so he doesn't care. Like I told him, I was like, I can take my cats with me. Like I do not have to leave them here with you. And he was like, no, like please leave them. And I was like, okay. But I don't really have like anything like why not? I could literally be gone for however long and just like explore different places and just see and meet different people. And I don't know, traveling really does light me up. And so I had that thought last week. I've already had 3 people reach out to me about like different trips. That's like a sign from the universe of like, okay, like let's explore this a little more. Same with my career. Since the breakup, I've gained 5 new clients. I don't think that's like just like a casual, like what, like it's like, no, I've literally like, and I haven't tried. Like these people have like sought me out for work. I have not really put that much effort into like marketing at all. I've just been like doing my thing and living my life, and people have just come to me. I feel like that is the universe. Like it's such an obvious thing of like, Siobhan, this is where you need to be putting your energy. Nothing is coming out of you putting energy into your love life. And I don't mean like, I think really it's like I'm doing is everything I'm supposed to do, which is like really just like healing. That's my biggest priority when it comes to my love life, is just really, really healing. I want to get back to having an abundant mindset. I want to really just like become very secure and solid and authentic in who I am. I actually had a dream last night. The dream doesn't really matter, but basically the idea that came to me is like, you don't need a specific experience or set of circumstances for you to be exactly who you are. Like you could be in like a really shitty situation and still show up exactly how you want to show up and exactly who you are. And I mostly say that because a lot of us tend to wear masks depending on a certain situation that we're in. And it was just kind of this like, you know, you could be in a situation that you don't necessarily want. Like, let's say you're in a 5-hour car ride and you're sitting in traffic. You don't have to be grumpy. Like, you could still like enjoy yourself. Like, you have the choice to enjoy yourself in that experience. I don't know. I'm just feeling very called to that part of my life. It just feels really good. It feels really right. It's the part of my life that the universe is really being responsive. The only part of my love life that is being responsive is the healing. So I have been getting really into Kundalini yoga lately, which is just like really cool. It's pretty much this idea of like getting out of your head and like deeply into your body through breath work and like movement. And then EFT tapping has been really, really amazing, just like reprogramming my brain. I've been doing some hypnosis as well, and that's also helping. And that's where I'm getting like the most receptivity from the universe, I feel like. And I think that's just a sign, is like, I'm meant to heal my heart right now, but I'm also meant to fuel it with my career and like my travel experiences and people that I love, because I am traveling, but I'm not traveling alone. I'm traveling with people, and people that love me and I love them. And yeah, I'm just really excited. And so I guess that's really the episode. I don't feel like I'm like, do I have anything else to say? Not really. I do feel good that I could kind of just like put this all out there and be like, okay, this is like actually what's kind of like going on with me, and this is how I'm feeling. Doesn't mean that every day is perfect, because it's absolutely not, but I've been very good at accepting that it's not perfect, and I've been not trying to make it perfect. I really do my best to take things day by day. I notice every day different things make me feel better. Like the other day, me and my best friend were just FaceTiming a lot and hanging out with each other, and that really helped me. Yesterday I went to a coffee shop that I'd never been to before. That really helped me. Today I'm just like working and like getting myself organized, and that feels like it's helping me. Yeah, I'm doing this 7-day cleanse right now. I'm on day 3. It's a liquid diet for 7 days, and the first day was hard. The first day I was like craving all of these different things, and now day 3, I haven't eaten yet today, so I do need to eat. But it feels like a little easier just because I don't know why it feels easier, but it does. Like yesterday was fine, and today I think is going to be fine too. But I think it's also like, it's only 7 days. Like in my head, I'm like, I can do anything for 7 days, and I'm kind of up for the challenge. I also signed up for F45 again, which is I love F45 and I signed up. The location I signed up at is in the gay village, which honestly, working out with gay men is like such a vibe. Like it really, really is. I don't worry about like men hitting on me. I don't feel self-conscious. They're all so fun. Like everyone's just like we're like working out and half of them are like twerking. And I think that also just reaffirms I'm not supposed to be like dating or like really doing anything more than healing my heart, because it just feels really good to be in that energy with just a bunch of gay men and myself. There's women there too. There's other women there too, but it's just like I don't know, like yesterday was just so fun. I went yesterday to a class and I don't know, it's just fun and it feels really good, and that's the update. That's the era that I'm in, and I'm kind of into it. So I'm going to be a little more open moving forward, just about the things that I'm dealing with and struggling with. Now that I kind of let the cat out of the bag, I honestly feel a little more relieved talking about it. So thank you for holding the space for me. And yeah, I want to get back on my podcast game. I want to start putting it on YouTube. Like I said, I'm filming a vlog right now. You're going to be seeing a lot more content from me because, like I said, this is the year of me taking myself seriously. Like, we're fucking doing it. We're doing it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it this far if you did. I will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.